Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All praises to the Most High for blessing us with another day. We got a very interesting subject matter for this morning. It's definitely going to broaden your horizons. It's going to open your mind. It's going to be something that a lot of people, especially within the Hebraic faith or any religious leaders, quote unquote, are speaking on. But I want to make this clear. I'm not here to spread any indoctrinal heresies. This video is going to be purely scriptural, and I'm going to give some clarity to some of these terminologies that you see in the title. Today's video is lucid dreams, inceptions, and interpretation. That's right, lucid dreams, inceptions, and interpretation. Now, you know how we do it over here. We give you that spiritual voltage that you signed up for. And this video is no different. I'm going to be also going into my sources. I'm going to be going into some scriptures. And this is going to be very impactful because, listen, sleep is very important. Dreams are very important. And I don't think people from any religious sects actually speak about this topic enough. I don't think they speak about it enough. When you go back into the Bible and you really do your research and you realize how important dreams are, according to the Bible, they're very, very important. I mean, Daniel's visions from chapter 2 to chapter 7, he basically prophesied all of the world powers through dreams. Like, he literally prophesied every world power that will come into fruition from then till now based on his visions and his dreams. So that shows you how important it is. But what happens when you're living in a society where the world powers are practicing something called inception, where your dreams are being suppressed and you're losing control in your dreams and you're not able to get the proper rest or the proper sleep because you have so many outside forces coming to work against your dreams? I mean, you got 5G towers. You got radiation in the atmosphere. You got these cellular devices that's typically very close to us while we're sleeping. There's a lot of weaponry that people don't quite understand that they actually have. And we're going to get into all of that, how they interrupt the natural frequency, how they interrupt that natural impulse that we have with the Creator, where he communicates to us in that spiritual realm known as the dream realm. Right? We're going to definitely talk about that, and that will be called Inception. And they made a whole movie about it. We're going to run down that. Also, when it comes to interpretation of dreams, we're going to read a little bit about that from a scriptural standpoint. But here's the issue. If you're not remembering your dreams, right? If you can't remember what you dreamed, then right there, that's taken away a lot of what we can bring forth to the world, because they're creating these weapons against us and suppressing our conscious and subconscious mind in a lot of ways. You know, how could we bring forth these dreams to be interpreted, to prophesy into the world, if we can't remember? Right? So in this particular stream, I'm also going to give y'all some step-by-step, play-by-blow methods of dreaming and remembering your dreams and having control in your dreams, because Satan's system wants you to lose control while you're sleeping, because that is literally one of your weakest moments, because you're between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. And they would like to be able to captivate your soul during that moment. But if you're going to sleep with control over what's going on, it's a game changer. And it's something that I've learned recently. And the world calls it lucid dreams. ladies and gentlemen, that's just Satan trying to take credit for what the Most High innately put in us to be able to have a level of control over how we fall asleep, what we dream, and how we dream, and how we're able to actually remember and understand our dreams. Satan wants to take that away. All right. So we're gonna get into it. And just to set the table for y'all, before I even dive in, right? Salute to everybody joining the chat this morning. If y'all could just hit the thumbs up button on the way in, allow this video to spread. It's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be a very knowledgeable video. Just go ahead and share, hit the like button. I see y'all rolling in. True Love, Taylor B, Terrell Thomas, Gerald Nichols, True Love, man, Timothy, Tim V2, what's up? Shalom, family. Nelly Wayne, hey, Paradox is in the house. All praises to the Most High. I'm glad y'all catching this broadcast off the morning, right? All right, let's get into it. First and foremost, just to let you know that there's no fallacies going on. This is no new doctrine. This is nothing new age that I'm coming with. And let me make this clear that there's a separation between spirit and physical. But this is no new doctrine. I have to put that out there. All right. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 8. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth. It shall even be as when an hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh and his soul is empty. Listen, you can eat in your dreams and wake up and still be empty. And it says, or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, and he awaketh, and behold, he is still faint. So you can drink in your dreams, but hey, when you wake up, you still thirst, right? And his soul have appetite. So shall the multitudes of all nations be that fight against Mount Zion. And that is very prophetic right there. That makes a clear separation between physical and spiritual. This is no way trying to promote astro projection. This is not trying to promote you blurring the lines or skewing the lines at all. There's a clear-cut definition. And it also says the mentalities of all nations that come against God's chosen, they the ones who dwindle and sway the fence. And, you know, they're never satisfied. It goes into a lot. That scripture right there speaks volumes. But I'm just making a clear-cut separation between physical and spiritual. You can eat and drink in a dream all day, but that don't mean it's going to satisfy you in the physical realm. All right. So take that as it may be. Right. But here we're going to be talking about getting some better sleep. This is going to help a lot of people out, man, because sleep is absolutely needed. Right. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5:12, and it reads, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. Listen, a laborious man, a man who is putting in that work, a man that's making sure that he's doing everything that he can do possibly to excel, to provide for, to handle his business. His sleep is usually sweet. But a man who is living a vain lifestyle, right? Let's use a drug dealer as an example. This drug dealer, yeah, he's stacking them chips. He getting that bread, right? But it's hard for him to sleep at night. The Most High suffer him not to sleep at night. What's the point of living this vain lifestyle where you're destroying your people and you can't even sleep at night? But the man who's laboring, working at Home Depot, the man that's working at Target, the man that's working at Walmart, the man that's laboring, the man that's working hard to provide, hey, his sleep is sweet. You know, when he hit that pillow, that's it. But see, something in the subconscious mind of those who are doing wicked, it disables their sleep patterns because subconsciously you're doing something rotten. And the scriptures also go on to say that these wicked men would, when they sleep, it would be like they would be in a warfare. It would be like they would be fighting a battle. When they arise, it's like, damn, they done went through a whole fight in their dreams, right? So sometimes when you having a series of nightmares that are repetitive, or you're having a tough time sleeping, sometimes you need to question how much labor have you been putting in? How much work have you been putting in? And you need to question your intents, and you need to look at what you're doing. Are you doing something that's affecting you subconscious that you know deep down is wrong? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself that. All right. Now let's continue. Psalms chapter 91, verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night. Now, a lot of y'all will be shocked to know that there's a lot of people who lay down in their bed at night and they're absolutely terrified, petrified. I'm talking about grown men and grown women who are afraid to go to sleep because they have sleep paralysis on a very high level. When the lights shut down in their room, they're looking around, they're afraid. This is not a good thing. You need to understand that you're lacking something spiritually. There's a spiritual deficiency anytime you have fear when it's time to lay down and go to sleep. And a lot of people don't talk about this. I'm talking about grown men and grown women, ladies and gentlemen. And you got to understand that if that situation is happening to you, that you are, in fact, in the presence of evil. All right? You are in the presence of evil. And you need to know that, because you're going to have to cast those evil spirits out. You're going to have to understand what's going on around you. What are you doing to open those portals into your home? What have you brung into your household? What have you been watching? What have you been dealing with that has this level of fear and anxiety when it's time for you to rest? And you got to be bold as a lion and be willing to cast that negativity up out of there. It just is what it is. All right. The Most High tell us not to operate in fear. Yeah, somebody said it best. DJ Tatter said you got to seek repentance. Fact. It's something that you got going on. Yep. Somebody said stay spiritually strapped. Real talk. Somebody said, how do we knock out the evil? In the name of Christ is how you knock out the evil. Some people call Jesus Christ. Some people, call Yeshua, Yahawashah. There's many names and interpretations, but the Most High wink upon our ignorance. I don't think none of us know the correct interpretation of the name, but when you calling upon him, he knows who you're talking about. Even though we know that according to history, his name had to start with a Y because J's were not introduced into the world before the 1600s. So we know that his name was a Y name. But again, as I said, when you get into translations and transliterations, hey, the Most High winks upon our ignorance. We learned the truth of his word in a stammered tongue. But that is how you cast them out in his name. And you got to be bold with it. Listen, demons fear Christ. They are absolutely terrified of Christ. All right. So that's how you cast them out. And sometimes you got to get real aggressive with it. You can't just be soft spoken, Lord, whatever's in here. No. Sometimes you got to stand up, especially you brothers, and you got to yell. You got to raise your voice up in your house. You might be in there by yourself, right? Hey, whatever is up in here, I can feel your presence. Whatever it is, you getting out tonight. You understand? Even if you have to pray and ask the Most High, if it's anything in here, Lord, anything in my home that does not belong here, whether it be some type of strange artifact, some old jewelry, it could be something that you don't even know is in your house. It could be something in your attic, right? Because these things carry spirits. They carry jinns, ladies and gentlemen. And you got to be like, hold up, if it's anything within the circumference and the confines of my home, Lord, revealeth it to me. Revealeth it to me. And he will reveal it to you. And you be like, hold on. I didn't know my kids was playing with these damn Pokemon cards that got little demons and Magic of the Gathering and what is this? And you start doing your research and then you getting stuff out of there and you'll find out why certain things was in your home. All right. So you just got to be sharp. Let's continue. Let's go. Psalms chapter 4, verse 8. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only maketh me dwell safely. See, that's one of those scriptures that you got to quote right before you lay yourself down to sleep. That, hey, listen, when I'm laying down to sleep, the Lord makes sure I dwelleth safely. Make sure I dwelleth safely. And these are some of the affirmations that you can speak to yourself if you are struggling with sleep paralysis, if you're struggling with nightmares, if you're struggling with demonic attacks and things of that nature, right? All right, let's continue. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause someone to fail. And this is how the wicked have to sleep at night. The only way the wicked can sleep at night is if they cause someone to fail. The wicked have to cause someone to fail. They have to cause some type of mischief. And there are people like this, ladies and gentlemen. The wicked can't sleep unless they cause someone to fall, unless they entice someone to do wickedness and evil, unless they stress somebody out, unless they ruin somebody's day. See, this is how a lot of these people operating in this world these days, because listen, if they don't appease and they're not subjugated to whatever demons that they battle with during that day, and they actually go out and carry out what those spirits want done, they cannot sleep at night. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of people like that. So, you'll question your celebrities. You'll be like, well, how the hell could they be in Illuminati? How can they be in these secret societies doing all of these rituals? How can they be doing their Satanism, doing videos where they bathing in blood? And how can they be so wicked and evil and actually sleep at night? Well, since they're reprobated and they have sold their souls, that is actually how they sleep at night. They can only sleep if they cause people to fail. So listen, they're not like us. Your celebrities, your entertainers, your stars, those individuals who have sold their souls in general, they're not like us. They sleep because they do evil, because they cause people to fail, because they made people brainwash and program them into this violent music, because they've done wickedness and evil, because they've set people up and sacrificed and performed rituals against people and done witchcraft and magic against individuals. That makes them sleep at night just fine. But the moment, and this is why it's so difficult for them to break the oaths. This is why it's so difficult for them to come into the truth, because the moment they try to fight back and they stop doing the rituals and the oaths, what happens? They go on a rapid decline, right? They're not sleeping at night. Satan takes away their sleep. They start looking crazy. They start looking, they'll start losing it. They'll start going on this rapid decline because they're not doing what the demons require them to do. Right? So listen, sleep is very important. Telling you. Let's continue here. Let's read that one more time. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause someone to fail. See, their sleep gets taken away. The demons and the evil spirits will take their sleep away. They'll take this. And listen, I don't know if y'all know, but the effects of not having sleep will cause psychosis. When you see some of these celebrities, when back in the day, Britney Spears, she shaved her head, or Kanye West, he's looking different and he's all withdrawn and he's saying things that don't make sense and he's acting erratic. Listen, sometimes they be trying to fight spiritually against these demonic energies. Sometimes they try to go against the grain. And what happens? Listen, they'll take away them demons, and them spirits will take away their sleep. And there's so many experiments, human experiments, on the effects of no sleep, like where they would take certain patients and they wouldn't allow them to sleep for weeks at a time and see the effects of it. And I see that in some of these celebrities. I could see those same effects. But let's continue. I don't want to beat that dead horse. Y'all get it. Now, Job 33:15, it reads, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep faileth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. Yes. Now, this scripture right here is very powerful because what it's talking about here is when we are in our deep sleep, when we are in a deep state of sleep and rest, and we are slumbering upon our beds, that is actually when the Most High God seals our thoughts. Now, that shows you how important it is to be conscious and cognitive during sleep, because at that prime time, that's when the enemy would like to try to jump in to make sure he disrupts what the Most High has to say to you. The Most High seals your thoughts of what you're going to do. That's why some days, you'll fall asleep and you plan to do something the next day. But then when you sleep, the Most High seal a whole nother idea into your mind. He'll make you move a whole nother direction that day. You'll make a whole nother choice and a decision because he seals something in you that night to make you move different, right? Now, we're going to get into some examples of how that enemy likes to corrupt that as well in this particular video. But before I do so, I'm going to go back to another scripture. Right? Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all right now. Let me read that scripture again. Job 33:15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. When you are asleep, the Most High then opens your ears. Yes. Oh, we're going to get into some things today. I'm about to share my screen with y'all because the enemy don't want the Most High God to talk directly to you in your dreams. He doesn't want the enemy doesn't want the Most High to seal your thoughts. The enemy is about corrupting our thoughts, corrupting what the Most High is bringing, right? Somebody said, experience all this after I broke free from the enemy. Demons tried to taunt me all the time, but I swung that sword, recite the word, recite scriptures. Facts. Real talk, real talk. See, y'all got to know that the word of God is our energy, pardon me. That's our sword, that's our weapon, that's how we protect ourselves. It all comes from the word of God. Now, I'm going to go into a source. I'm going to share my screen with y'all, right? Inception. The movie Inception. Now, we just showed that the Most High God, he seals our thoughts and our dreams. He shows us what we need to see, right? Inception. I want to read the movie synopsis of the movie Inception, right? And I want y'all to listen to this, right? And then I'm going to go into another source. Let me see here. Y'all give me one moment. All right, here we go. Inception. Film synopsis. Dom Cobb, which is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a thief with the rare ability to enter people's dreams and steal their secrets from their subconscious. His skills has made him a hot commodity in the world of corporate espionage, but has also cost him everything he loves. Cobb gets a chance at redemption when he is offered a seemingly impossible task, plant an idea in someone's mind. If he succeeds, it will be the perfect crime, but a dangerous enemy anticipates Cobb every move. Very, very, very interesting. What if I told y'all that they have people who are subconscious thieves? What if I told you that they're working on technology right now to actually steal thoughts, ideas, dreams, and put thoughts into our minds. Yeah, this is actually a reality, because some of y'all like, man, New Breed, this is science fiction right here. You know, it says science fiction. Oh, so you think that the truth ain't stranger than fiction. You don't think these ideas come from something, huh? You don't think that since the enemy knows that the Most High God seals our thoughts and our dreams and gives us direction, you don't think Satan don't want to combat that? Where y'all think Nightmare on Elm Street comes from? Freddy Krueger. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door, right? Instilling fear in people, right? Why you think they made movies like that where somebody can come into your dreams? Let me tell y'all something. You living in a spiritual world. You living amongst shadow demons and spirits. You living among individuals who know how to body jump. Yeah. They get deep into their magic and witchcraft. You got individuals who know how to jump bodies and jump minds and enter into different concepts that you won't even understand exist unless you open your eyes and pay attention. This is a spiritual war. Now, I'm going to show you another source. I'm going to show you another source. Let's remove that. Let's stop that screen there. I'm going to bring up another source for y'all. Y'all bear with me one moment. And hit the like button in the video if you gain an edification. Let's allow this video to spread on this early morning. Now, this source right here is from AAAS Science, right? And this is, if you Google what I Googled, right? And it's called Advertisers Coming for Dreams. There's many companies and there's many articles that are speaking about this in 2021. All right. There's many people talking about this. This is a thing in the science world. Are advertisers coming for your dreams? Are they trying to place ads in our sleep? Now you can see that in this photo here, there's a young lady asleep with her cell phone near her, right? Right by her head. Very interesting, right? Now, I'm going to read some of this. She got it right by her head. Yeah, you know how them frequencies work. Somebody said, can a devil give you dreams? It looks like they're trying, bro. As you can see, you see what they got going on. Somebody said, God does not give us the spirit of fear. Facts, though. Yeah. But there's going to be certain things that we're going to have to change about our sleep habits to combat what this new science that they're rolling out is. I'm going to read from this article. And then I'm going to give you some instructions to help you have more control over your sleep, so you don't have one of these inhabitants coming into our dreams and doing things they ought not do, right? Let's see. Let me go to this article here. Now, okay, here we go. Are advertisers coming for your dreams? It says, if you ever crammed for an exam just before bedtime, you may have tried something dream researchers have been attempting for decades, coaxing knowledge into dreams. Such efforts had glimmers of success in the lab. Now brands from Xbox to Coors to Burger King are teaming up with some scientists to attempt something similar, engineer advertisements into willing consumers' dreams via video and audio clip. This week, a group of 40 dream researchers has pushed back in an online letter calling for the regulation of commercial dream manipulation. Dream incubation advertisement is not some fun gimmick, but a slippery slope with real consequences. They write on the op website EOS. Our dreams cannot become just another playground for corporate advertisers. Ladies and gentlemen, anything that they come out with when they announce it in 2021, I want y'all to know that it's already been in the works. This is something that they done a long time ago. This is something that was already concocted years ago. A lot of the times they be having these technologies at least 20 years in advance, at least 20 years in advance. And then they introduce it to the general public. But notice they're rolling this out for willing participants. Now, you're going to have willing participants as of now. But, if you give Satan an inch, he's going to take a whole mile from you. If people actually allow these major corporations to market in their brains, which I don't doubt that there's going to come a time where people allow it, then you're going to open the floodgates of hell. You're going to open up Pandora's box, and it's going to be all out dream warfare where you having ads. Imagine that you sitting there having a dream. The Most High God is showing you something in your sleep, and a damn double whopper with cheese ad come in your dream. This is how crazy these people are getting with it. It's getting wild out here in this world. That is literally Inception coming through people's dreams. Now, let's read a little more of this article here. It says dream incubation, in which people use images, sounds, or other sensory cues to shape their nightmare visions. As a long history, people throughout the ancient world invented rituals and techniques to intentionally change the content of their dreams. Oh, we're going to talk about that. People, let me read that sentence again. I want y'all to listen carefully. It says, people throughout the ancient world invented rituals and techniques to intentionally change the content of their dreams through meditation, painting, praying, and even drug use. Now, it's talking about the Greeks. It's talking about between 4th century BCE, all right, where a lot of these things were created. That's why you got people trying to stimulate their pineal gland to have images and have dreams and visions, using DMT, all these experimental drugs, LSD, and all of these things to try to do what the Most High can do with a couple of quick methods. And I'm going to talk about those methods, right? Listen, something that I realized about sleeping and dreaming, it's important to understand that you are in control when you go to sleep, but it's only a few ways that you can gain that control. And we're going to get into that when I speak on lucid dreams, because what the world called lucid dreams, first and foremost, I'm not with anything that's new age. I'm not with anything satanic. As I said at the beginning of this video, that terminology, lucid dream, is not what having control and having power and strength and being conscious and cognitive in your sleep is. That's just Satan trying to stop you from having that power over your dreams, right? Let me go to the definition of a lucid dream real quick. What are lucid dreams? Lucid dreams are when, and I'm going to, I'm at WebMD, by the way. I'm at the WebMD definition. It says lucid dreams are when you know that you're dreaming while you're asleep. You're aware that the events flashing through your brain aren't really happening, but the dreams feels vivid and real. You may even be able to control how the action unfolds, as if you were directing a movie in your sleep. Studies suggest that about half of people may have at least one lucid dream, but they probably don't. It probably doesn't happen often. Usually only a handful a year. Now, I could tell you ways of having more than a handful a year, because this is something that I've been doing lately. And I've been having lucid dreams, and I've been having a lot of control in my sleep. And recently I started to sleep better because of it. And I'm able to remember my dreams more, and I'm able to write these dreams down, and they give me answers with certain things. And I'm going to prove to you scripturally that is no heresy in what I'm saying, and that interpretation of dreams has always been a biblical component. And we're going to go into that as well. But I'm going to tell y'all a couple techniques before we get into that, right? Give you a couple techniques. First and foremost, when you're going to sleep, you want all technology away from you. Like in that photo with the woman laying down and the phone is right by her head, you want your phone away from you, all right? Not by your head. And most people sleep with their phone by their head. You want, first and foremost, get your device, your cellular device, and move it. Move it further away, okay? There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of technology. You got to know that you're dealing with the prince of the air, which is Satan. And when it says the prince of the air in the scriptures, it's talking about the prince of the airwaves. So you want to get that, you want to get that out of here, right? Also, now there's so many methods to being able to have control over your dreams. I'm gonna give y'all some. So when you're falling asleep, the idea is to know that you're on your way to sleep. You have to be like, okay, consciously, I'm on my way to sleep. I am crossing over. Listen to whatever sounds are in your home. If you have something subtly playing, that will help you to have this lucid dream, right? Or what they call a lucid dream. Really, it's just you having control and you having a series of dreams, right? So you want something going on in the physical realm where you can correlate it to the realm that you're about to cross over into. For example, it could be something simple as when the moment where you're falling asleep, take your hand and look at it. Your hand is there. You're sleeping. You're falling asleep. You're dozing off. You see your hand. When you wake up, guess what? You still, when you cross over, not when you wake up, but when you cross over to the dream realm, your hand is still there. Now you're conscious that you looked at your hand. Now it's like you're there. All right, I'm dreaming. I know that I'm asleep, right? I know that I'm asleep right now. Lord, now that I have some control, I know I'm dreaming. I know none of this is real, but what do you want to show me, Lord? And there's a couple other ways you can do this. Another tactic would be to set an alarm, right? Set some type of alarm to sleep, to wake up, at a time that you would normally never wake up. Wake up that time knowing that you are about to go back to sleep, because you never get up 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, right? You never just wake up at that time, but you set an alarm to wake up at that time. Now you're up. You know you're about to fall back to sleep. Set yourself another alarm that's very subtle. The first alarm can be real loud, like it wakes you up. Set you another alarm that's very subtle. Now you can subtly hear in the dream as you're sleeping. You can subtly hear that alarm playing. As it's playing, you know that you're asleep, but you can still hear it consciously. Now you're still in control because you know you're asleep. Now, that's one way. Now you can start to conquer some of the things that were plaguing you in your dreams. Now, if you were having nightmares, you can now fight those nightmares and find out what demon was trying to inhabit your sleep, because now you have control. And whatever witchcraft and spells that someone may have tried to cast on you behind the scenes, now you have control in your dreams, because they like to invade dreams. Now you know you're asleep. Now you know what's going on. And now you have control. Now, this ain't about meditation. This ain't about no yoga. This ain't about none of that. All it is training your mind to know that you're crossing over to the dream realm. And there's certain positions that you can sleep as well, because a lot of us don't get good sleep because we're not sleeping the right way. We're not laying down the right way. Some people tell you that it's best to sleep on your stomach. Not true. Some people tell you it's best to sleep on your back. Not true again. All right. When you're sleeping on your stomach, your head has to be turned one way or another. So that's affecting your posture. If you laying face first, your head has to turn one way or another. So guess what? Your posture is being knocked off. If you lay on your back, right, and you're sleeping on your back, that's how a lot of people get what we call sleep paralysis, right? That is literally the sleep paralysis position. That's the position where you're off guard. It's hard to stay on guard. So what's the proper way to sleep? The proper way to sleep would be on your side, ladies and gentlemen. On your side. On your side, not with your hands, not with your hands up high, but your hands low, right? So you have total control. And a lot of the times, depending on which side you turn, your mind is able to activate a certain way. And this is just natural sciences. This is actual natural sciences, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm bringing this forth because these are things that I've studied. And these things actually work for better sleep, because I was struggling with sleep acne. And I was struggling with not remembering my dreams for this last year. And now I had to pray and come up with some solutions. And now, since I've made this transition of sleeping different and paying attention to what's around me and being conscious, I can remember my dreams more. I'm getting better sleep. I wake up more refreshed and I can think more clearly. So I have to teach you all what I'm learning. Now, let's continue this, right? I'm going to read a little bit more of what they call lucid dreams. It says, when do lucid dreams happen? ? Lucid dreams are most common during rapid eye movement, what they call REM sleep, a period of very deep sleep marked by eye motions, faster breathing, and more brain activity. You usually enter REM sleep about 90 minutes after falling asleep. It lasts about 10 minutes, and your sleep each REM period is longer than the one before. It says neuroscientists don't know exactly how and why lucid dreams happen. I'm telling you why they happen. And I'm not no neuroscientist. They happen because you are making yourself conscious that you are asleep now. Now you have control. And you can consciously say, hey, I'm in the dream realm now. I'm on the other side. They're not going to tell you this science. They're going to act like they don't know why they happen, but there's methods to make them happen. It says, for one thing, studies have found physical differences in the brain of people who do and have lucid dreams. Their very front part of the brain, called the prefrontal cortex, the site of high-level tasks, life-making decisions, and recalling memories, is bigger in people who have lucid dreams. That's a lie, right? They said the site of high-level tasks, like making decisions and recalling memories, is bigger than people who have lucid dreams. You know, they want to put it in reverse. They want you to be weak in your dream realm so they can practice this inception. Science is going to lie to you. It says that suggests that folks who are most likely to have lucid dreams tend to be self-reflective types who chew over their heads. Now, hey, they don't want you to have control. And you're supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen, let's make this clear. You're supposed to be self-reflecting. You're supposed to know thyself. The prophets knew how to dream. You're supposed to know what's going on. You're supposed to know what the Most High is saying to you. So they're setting up a stage. These scientists, they want to inhabit your dreams. They don't want you to have no control. They don't want you to pay attention to that. They just want you to fall out and collapse and not pay attention that you're crossing over to a whole nother realm, right? Yeah, somebody said that movie wasn't a joke. Yeah, that wasn't a joke. Inception was real. Yeah, somebody said 3 days off marijuana. Hopefully I start dreaming again. Okay, that's good. I applaud you for that, brother. And don't go back to it, man. Stay up off of it. Now, let's go a little bit more into these advertisements, right? It says modern science has opened a whole new world of possibilities. Researchers can now identify when most people enter the stage of sleep where much of our dreaming takes place, the rapid eye movement. So listen, they're telling you not. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. They telling you not to pay attention to your REM within the first 10 minutes of dreaming, the rapid eye movement. But science over here, advertisers, they over here trying to figure out ways to track your REM. Actually, they already can do it. They can already monitor your brain waves, eye movement, and even if you're going to snore. They also shown that the external stimuli, such as sound, smells, light, speech, can alter dream content. Man, listen. They don't want you. They say, oh, you're just self-reflection. You're a damn douchebag. You just a self-reflective narcissist if you pay attention to your own dreams and your REM. I'm here to tell you, you better start paying attention because these damn scientists, they coming for our dreams. They got the real live Freddy Kruegers out here in these labs. They got the real live Freddy Kruegers out here. It says people are particularly vulnerable to suggestion when sleep. They know that there's a vulnerability there. But guess what? If you are in control, it ain't no vulnerabilities. It says people are particularly vulnerable to suggestion when sleep, says Adam Haar, a cognitive science and PhD student at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who co-authored the letter. Haar invented a glove that tracks sleep patterns and guides its wearers to dream about specific subjects by playing piano cues when the sleeper reaches a suspenseful sleep stage. He says he has been contracted by 3 companies in the past 2 years, including Microsoft and 2 airlines, for his help on dream incubation projects. He helped with one game-related project, but says he wasn't comfortable participating in any advertising campaigns. Wow. Hey, they got the science. They got the science. Satan ain't playing no games. He wants to get into our dreams. Let's talk about our dreams. Let's go back to Job. Job 33:15-16. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumbers upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. They want to play God. Science always want to play God. Always want to play God, right? Be aware. Now, Ecclesiastes 5:7. For in the multitudes of dreams and many words, they are also diverse vanities, but fear thou God. He said, listen, when it comes to dreaming, there's also diverse vanities. Now, you wonder why Meek Mills came up with Dream Chasers. Think about that. Those are diverse vanities. Man, I dreamed I was a billionaire. Oh, man, I dreamed that I was going to have a rollie on my arm and I was going to be pushing a Ferrari. Yeah. Oh, I dreamed that I'm going to have $20 million in the bank. Oh, Lord, I dreamed that I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be filthy rich. Diverse vanities. I had a dream I was diving in a pile of gold like DuckTales. DuckTales. Ooh. Diverse vanities. That's why they got Meek Millie talking about some damn dream chasers. It's all about dreams. When you hear these rappers talking about dreams, why is your dreams always to be a millionaire? Why are you in a place of leadership, but your dreams are not bringing forth clarity for the lost sheep? Why are your dreams not bringing forth anything righteous that's going to help people? It's all about you. It's all about what you're dreaming. I'm telling you. Let's see. Let's continue. Let's go to some of these scriptures. I got some scriptures also in here. Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. There's nothing going to be done on this earth unless the Most High God reveals it to his servants and prophets. And he reveals it in a number of ways. He reveals his secrets in dreams, visions, something I like to call downloads, where you're hearing certain thoughts in your mind and the Most High is projecting and communicating to you. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, hear now my words. If there be any prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak to him in a dream. If there's any prophet unto you, I will let it be known through a vision, and I will speak unto him through a dream. Yeah, the Most High God speaks to his prophets through dreams. And, you know, not to keep beating this dead horse, but there's a dream that I shared with you all on my community section, I believe a couple of weeks ago. And the dream was very prophetic. And it was 7 months before the pandemic hit. It was 7 months before the pandemic hit. And that dream didn't make sense when I posted it. But it makes total sense now. And it was one of those dreams where I could not think about anything else that day until I got on this camera and made a video and told y'all what I dreamed. I could not speak. I mean, I couldn't do anything. You know those dreams when you have them and you thinking about them all day and you're like, I got to tell somebody what I just dreamed. And I posted that on my community section. And once you look at that dream, it's easily interpreted for what was to come. I mean, I talked about the water. I talked about the food shortages, the water shortages. I talked about how you know certain people will be doing things for luxuries, things like that. That people will be willing participants in whatever is about to happen. I mean, I made it known in that dream. And it's all, of course, it's all glory to the Most High God. All praises to the God of Israel for giving me that dream. But these dreams are very real. Now, I'm going to show y'all some examples of dream interpretation. I'm going to show y'all some examples, right, within the holy text. I'm going to go to a couple scriptures here. And I'm also going to share my screen with y'all as I go to these scriptures. Right? Let's remove that. Stop that screen and share another one. And if you gain an edification, go ahead and hit the video with a thumbs up. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. All right, here we go. Now, what you're looking at right now is the 4 beasts in Daniel chapter 7, right? And I'm going to read Daniel chapter 7, and I'm going to show you how important it is to understand your dreams, right? Now, right there is the vision. That's the dream. I'm going to read from Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and vision of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. Daniel spake and said, I saw in a vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea, and 4 beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings therefore were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it was up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth, it between the teeth. And they said unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, with great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I'm going to show you prophetically between that Daniel chapter 2 and 7, that Daniel's dream prophetically broke down the world powers to come. All the attributes that he was given. This Daniel chapter 7 is more the detailed version, right, of the attributes that these kingdoms would have. But when you go back to chapter 2, it simplifies it. And listen, I would recommend that everybody read these books. I want you to read Daniel chapter 2 through chapter 7. I'm going to give you a brief breakdown of this, but I just want to show the validity of dreams, right? I'm going to go show you another photograph, right? I'm going to stop this screen and share another one with y'all. All right. Let's go. And we're going to, let's see, another image here. All right. Daniel chapter 2. Now, what he broke down, hopefully y'all can see this, is what you're looking at here is the Babylonian Empire. Now, it's showing that in his dream in chapter 2. I'm going to actually pull that up as well. Y'all give me one moment. Let me pull Daniel chapter 2 up as well so we can get a further understanding. All right, Daniel chapter 2. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. Then the kings commanded to all the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. So listen, Nebuchadnezzar, he had to have witches and all these necromancers and all of these people to interpret dreams and all of these things, which when you go to Genesis chapter 40, it tells you that the Most High God interprets the dream. Only thing we got to do is show forth the dream. So you got to be aware of all these people who are operating in the vein of witchcraft and sorcery when they're trying to break down dreams. All right. Because really, when the Most High gives us a dream, it's usually before its time. And really, he's the interpreter of the dream. And they cannot really interpret your dream in detail. Right. So you got people who got jobs, astrologers, sorcerers, and all them people got jobs just to break down dreams. And that's not how it works. Right. Now, see, you see how we adding a balance to all of this, right? It says, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king, O king, live forever. Tell the servants the dream, and we will show you the interpretation. So we, for the sake of time, he goes through all these astrologers and all of these things, and he really doesn't have his questions really answered. But then Daniel went to his house. Daniel, a man of the Most High. And he made the thing known to Hannah, Mishael, Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the Most High God, heaven, concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows shall not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then this secret was revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then bless upon the Lord. Now, so what Daniel dreamed is every empire from here on out. Babylonian Empire from 605 to 529 BC, the Medo Empire, he dreamed this vision here. The Grecian Empire, the Roman Empire, he dreamed it all. So it was like, the Most High God can operate without all of that All that nonsense. You don't need astrologers. You don't need all these dream books. You don't need none of that. Because this was before its time. Now the vision was made known by the attributes. By the attributes of the dream, the dream was made known as time passed. And that's how the Most High operates. Somebody said, I had a wonderful dream the other morning. The baby came out of the crown. I guess you mean crib. Oh, that baby, and he was laughing. It was a boy. It was raining like water down the ocean. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Yep. Somebody said, keep your faith in the Lord. He will never leave us nor forsake us. Amen. Amen. Thank you. And I mean, this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Dreams are real. And having control over those dreams, there's nothing sinful about it. They like to call it lucid dreams, but typically what they call lucid dreams is just you having control and you being conscious of your REM, your rapid eye movement, and you know what's going on. They don't want you to have that type of power spiritually. I'm going to tell you now, usually when you have lucid dreams, you'll have like 3 or 4 or 5 dreams in one night, and you can remember every last one of them. You have like 3, 4, or 5 dreams in one night. You could hop from one dream to the next. I mean, it's dope. You get some of the best sleep. They want us to be exhausted as people. They want us to be sluggish, feeling spiritually weighed down at all times. And now they want to inhabit our dreams. They literally want to jump into our dreams, yo. You're fighting demons. It's spiritual warfare out here. And as again, I want y'all to go into detail with reading the book of Daniel. Also in the book of Genesis, there were certain prophets that were given dreams and visions, so much so that other prophets, they were able to communicate with the Most High and communicate with other prophets in dreams, literally. Like, hey, I got a message for you, bro. Oh, I'm gonna send brother so-and-so in a dream. Because look, they didn't have, y'all gotta understand, you living in a time they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have no cell phones. They didn't have, internet. You couldn't just communicate like that. The Most High God literally have sent prophets from one end of the earth to another brother in a dream. And you'd be like, yo, how'd you know to do that? The Most High sent so-and-so in a dream. And, we communicated there. That's how serious it was. That's how serious dreaming was. They want us to just fall asleep and just collapse without even thinking that, we're about to cross over to the other realm. I'm going into the terrestrial realm now. I'm leaving the celestial realm, going into the terrestrial realm, not trying to astro project, not doing nothing new age, but I'm conscious. I know that I'm going to sleep. That's the mentality you got to have while you're falling asleep. Be aware, because the enemy don't stop. The enemy don't stop operating in your life while you're sleeping. He don't stop. A lot of people don't know that sleep paralysis is demon possession. That's demon possession. That's the enemy. And for those who don't know what sleep paralysis is, that's pretty much when you wake up, you open your eyes, and you feel like somebody is restraining you. You feel like somebody is holding you. You can't yell, you can't scream, you can't move. You're pretty much stagnated. That's because there's an inhabitor. There's someone trying to practice Inception. There's someone trying to jump in. There's people who do witchcraft behind scenes that are aiming for the chosen. And they're always conjuring up stuff. Listen, I've had dreams that there were people doing dark prayers on my life, sitting around in a circle, plotting, trying to inhabit my dreams, trying to give me negative thoughts. And now they got all this type of technology. They got voice to skull technology. They got all of these things where they can actually implant certain thoughts into your mind that are not supposed to be there. And now they're getting to a point where they're trying to get they're pushing science now where they can make you do something that you never even thought to do. It's coming. And somebody said it'd be your own folks. That's a fact. It'd be your own people. Somebody said they call it the hag. Yeah, Nadia said you're right all day, every day, called monitoring spirits. Yeah, when it comes to monitoring spirits, y'all got to understand there's good monitoring spirits and evil monitoring spirits. You take the word monitoring, that just means somebody's watching. There's always watchers. Sometimes when we hear monitoring spirits, people think it's sheerly demons. But monitoring spirits, you have angels too. And they watch you all the time. Yeah, and listen, as you can see, like prophets like Daniel, they was having horrendous dreams. They was having horrendous dreams, but they wasn't fearful in their dreams. They wasn't fearful. They knew that they were dreaming. But some of us will see a half lion hat with wings and a bear with iron teeth and a dragon and a dinosaur. We would see that in our dreams. Look, we wake up screaming like hell. We probably fall off the bed face first. But when you know that you're going over to the dream world, you can stand there and interpret it. You won't be afraid. Even though it's some crazy things you're seeing in your dreams sometimes, you won't be afraid because you consciously have made a decision. Hey, I'm going to sleep. I know that I'm crossing over. He was able to see these horrendous sights and break it down and interpret it and say, hey, this represents these kingdoms that's going to rule. This represents what's going to happen because I can look at the intricate details of it. Although it's complex, the Most High showed him what the dream was. Somebody said one of my little sisters do witchcraft. Oh man, that's not good. It says, she says, let out a big black thing that follows her around. Now terrifies her and her children. It says, I can't help her because she doesn't believe in Yeshua. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. And see, y'all, that's why I'm telling you, you got to be careful. People be opening Pandora's box. You got to be careful bringing certain things in your home and playing with certain things, certain objects and things of that nature. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but we'll fear nothing but the Most High, man. Y'all know what it is. You got to rebuke it. You can still have the power to tread over those demons, sis, but hey, pray for your family and do the best you can do. Yep. But you know what it is. I just wanted to clarify this because I made a statement in one of my streams. I made a statement that something that I practice what they call lucid dreams. I don't call it that. I don't know where they got that from. But a lot of people was in my comment section acting as if I was speaking some type of indoctrinal heresy or some type of religious or some type of new age esoteric type of teachings. And that's just not the case. I follow the Bible. The scriptures, they show us a lot in regards to dreams. And I think that we should, in 2021, be very aware of the sciences that they have against us. And I think you should really practice changing your sleep patterns and your sleep habits. Keep a sober mind, and just stay righteous. Stay on the right track. All praises to the God of Israel. If you like this video, share it. Actually hit the like button as well, ladies and gentlemen, if this video helped you out. As you can see, man, we do a lot of authentic topics on here. We go through it all. We talk about everything here on the channel, and that's what makes this particular platform so very important. We speak on all things, right? It's not one dimensional whatsoever. Bless you all. I thank the Most High for giving us somebody said Q&A question. If y'all can get the likes up on the video, if y'all can get the views up on the video by spreading it, we can do Q&A. Matter of fact, if that's pretty much what I'm for. Anytime I go on the Q&A, it's because y'all guys actually show that you like the video so I can continue going, I'm not going to sit to people if they're not impressed. I'm not impressed by your content, so I'm not going to hit the thumbs up. I'm not impressed, bro. Go ahead and keep it moving. Do y'all? And I do want to leave no stone unturned when it comes to this. I do want to leave no stone unturned when it comes to this. If you got a question regarding dreams, then that's cool. If y'all got questions regarding dreams, also follow me on Instagram, New Breed 404. I'm finally over 5,000 followers on there. We trying to get to 10. We're trying to get to 10,000 followers on there. So follow me on there. Help a brother out. New music is coming as well. New music is coming as well. Somebody said, are dinosaurs evil? Dinosaurs were created by genetic splicing. Dinosaurs were created by genetic splicing. In the days of Noah, they basically started to splice different species together. And when the flood came, it washed the dinosaurs away. It wasn't it wasn't an ice age that killed them, like science said. Science tell you it was the ice age that killed all the dinosaurs. That's a lie. What killed the dinosaurs was the flood. They was doing some real live Jurassic Park nonsense out here. Same way they doing now when you seeing species that you never heard of. You seeing species out here that don't even make no earthly sense, and they're walking the planet. Don't doubt for a second they don't have genetic splicing going on. They might have a real Jurassic Park somewhere. The truth is stranger than fiction. So yeah, Jurassic Park, dinosaurs, they made them. And that's why when archaeologists go find dinosaurs' bones, they're usually on the top of mountains and hills. The reason why they're on the top of mountains and hills is because when those water levels suppressed and went down, it left the bones in high places, right? That's why they find dinosaur bones in mountains. Yeah, so they taught man, mankind, listen, they will create something that will destroy us. They will create, mankind is that reckless that they will create a species that'll kill us. That's how you know people, boy. Yeah, but hopefully that answered that question. That's the only question I've seen. So it is what it is. All praises to the Most High, the God of Israel. Man, hopefully this video helped y'all out. Follow me on Instagram. If you would like to support this ministry via Cash App, my Cash App is New Breed 404. 10% of all contributions that's sent actually go to the people who are in need of groceries, gas money, small bills, things of that nature. I send it out via Cash App, via cash request. Also, if you can't give, you don't want to filter it through me for whatever reason, then go ahead and give to somebody in your community. Give to somebody in your community, man. It's people out here homeless. Help people out. Charity covers the multitude of sins. If you got it, help people out. All praises to the Most High. I thank each and every one of y'all for catching this stream. Y'all have a blessed afternoon. Shalom and peace.